she didn't know it was going to turn into a podcast. She was like, but you guys didn't introduce yourselves at any point. It's like, interesting. That may be true. So season 2, episode 1. Hi, I'm Irit. This is Zineb. And if you don't know us, then there's a link to our descriptions and LinkedIn in the comment section below. We had like 15 subscribers last time I checked. I didn't check
17.
today. Oh, we're at
17. 17.
That's a nice number, for people who just started yesterday and nobody knows. My post of our launch got 3,893 impressions, 89 likes or whatever, and 110 comments.
Okay. Mine got 3,868 impressions, 91 reactions, and 129 comments. And if I look at because we posted video,
right,
739 views,
How do you see the
686
views?
You click on
Wait,
the
where
analytics.
the
analytics where it says impressions, view analytics.
I see. View video performance. Yeah, so 903 views, 871 viewers. How many did you get?
739 views and 686 viewers.
This is such interesting. Forget us just for a second. We got more or less the same number of impressions, right? We both had around 3,800, 3,900, less than 4,000. But I had 871 viewers 903 times. You had 600 and something viewers. Look at how the numbers lie. Look at how the numbers are they don't add up to anything. You cannot base anything on vanity metrics. You can't. It's just, I don't know, that blows my mind.
No, not anything. It's still useful. It's not pure vanity. It's vanity that's not so vanity. It is to be used with a grain of salt. I mean, you're not going to make a life decision based on those vanity metrics, but they give you an indication of, are you playing the attention game properly? And can I sort of am I going in the right direction a little bit?
Yeah, I never knew that you could look at the views. Like I probably knew, but I never did it. So interesting.
That's where you get the viewer demographics. Also, you can look through job titles.
11% of mine are founders, 5% are salespeople.
Well, I used to get excited about that at the beginning, and I used to be like, okay, so spot on, right? That's my IC. That's not how I describe my
you.
IC.
Half of those are you.
Exactly.
Stop looking at them. I'm a founder. So of the 11%, about 6%, 5.5% is me. So phenomenal. Phenomenal is my new word, apparently. I say it all the time. But this color on you is just so great.
Thank you very much. I'm very black, white, and then from time to time.
It was an interesting decision that we made to put all 10 episodes, like the first 10 episodes, live all at once. And the reason I'm glad is because people like Shabnam said, I'm going to binge on these. And they're bingeable, because they're like bite-sized. The ones that are 15 minutes, the ones that are 25 minutes, those are a bit longer, but the 15-minute ones, they're totally bingeable. And so I loved that we put those up, but I also like that we're going to be promoting one a week for a while. So, that way we're sort of building the habit of going in once a week. And for me, it'll be Wednesdays just because it's convenient. You can do whatever day, but you can also do Wednesdays. I think the fact that they were at the same day, even not the same hour, it was good. It was like, it's there. It makes an impression on. That might be why you got less views.
I was thinking of switching up the day because for the launch, that was okay. But for the rest, it's like, if it's your only post that day, right? Let's just assume it's your only post that day.
Yeah.
We share a lot of the same network, right? So it's like double work. It's fine for a launch because people are super happy for us. That's great. But it's not as I don't think it works as much. So I might do a Thursday, for example, or no, I might do Thursday. Yeah.
I also think that the content is different. Like we're writing different things in the post. And this I've seen by watching a lot of videos. If the content in the post is the same as the video, I won't watch the video. I'll just read the post. If it's different, or I'll do the other. I'll watch the video and not read the post. I prefer transcripts to video a lot of the times. But in something like ours, adding added value at the top makes it, people are going to read that post anyway, even if they don't watch the video. And then they're going to comment on the content. And we don't plan that. And I like that we don't plan that, so that you can write whatever you want, I write whatever I want, and then whatever resonates with our audience. So I
Hmm.
actually think that's a great thing.
Yeah, because first of all, this journey means different things for the both of us, even though we are aligned, right? But it means the meaning is different for each one of us, and you can see that in the posts, right? If you look at, if we put side to side yours and mine, I like the different personality. It just shines. You made it yours, I made it mine. It's not like a regular video, right? We might do a post on the topic because the topic of the snippet is maybe interesting to us, that we can build a post around that, or not, or we could just do something completely random.
Dave Brown has a podcast,
Oh, podcast.
and he does post just to, let's say, just podcast. He had a series right before I went on vacation. I loved this series. The GIF was something from like a movie or a TV show or whatever, and he would work the word podcast into either the sentence of the title or whatever. It was hysterical. And his posts have absolutely nothing. His posts are, worst thing you'll do is you'll lose 5 minutes. I love that he does that. I love his posts. They're like short, sweet, usually with no objective, no idea behind them. Like, but just watch the podcast. Podcast.
Podcast, yeah, and that's the gimmick. That's like the boom, or the right. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing, and it comes with repetition, and people start tagging him, right?
Yeah.
Podcast, podcast,
Podcast.
podcast.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about reaction. What did you hear?
So the first thing that comes to mind, and I did share it with you, was just heartwarming when, it's just, if you can help one person, it's wow, right? So I get an audio message from one of my favorite people. We've been following each other for a while. Helped her with, video to, just sort of like give her that nudge to get on video. And she sent me an audio message, a really nice one, that thank you so much. You both just inspired me to actually get started on something she had been procrastinating on for so long. And she actually did, right? She did, and
Did
she
you see her
launched it.
post yesterday?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She
I
launched it
was so
yesterday.
proud.
I saw it this morning. And because she sent me a message, she's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't tag you."
Yeah, it's weird because she tagged me and she didn't tag you. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was on purpose or not. That was so
No.
I was so happy that she launched. It was so great.
Yeah.
Jenny,
Very,
this
very
is
nice.
for you.
Big shout out to Jenny. Big shout out to Jenny. Thank you. Because I think, and then we can go back to the rest of the reactions, but I think maybe I'm just different in that sense, but a lot of people feel things, a lot of people get inspired by your content, yours or mine or whoever's, but they never actually say anything, right? Um, those that do, I'm always super super thankful and happy. So a lot of people do, and but most don't say anything. So that's, I would always encourage. I know that time is of the essence, and we don't have time for this kind of stuff. I try to make time when I like something. I say it. It's important. It's important.
When I was working in the bookstore, my manager used to tell us, for every person that gives you bad feedback, there are 10 that didn't give you any.
Hmm.
Every person that gives you good feedback, there are hundreds that didn't give you any, right? Because people don't think about it. This is a call to anyone watching this at this very time. If you have been inspired or something happened to you that was good by watching one of our episodes or by one of our posts on LinkedIn, let us know in the comments below, because that's what gives us energy to continue doing this more and more.
If you've been inspired by any content whatsoever, just drop them, that person's a comment, or an audio message or a DM. Well, audio message, sometimes people are still spooked by those. They're still like, oh
I
my
don't
God,
know.
is this gonna
Before I
self-explode? And if I hit play.
before I had WhatsApp, because I didn't have a smartphone until like I started my business, so 2.5 years. But before I had WhatsApp, my husband had it, and he would get people recording messages rather than writing. And he's like, why can't they write? What is so hard about writing? Why do you have to record? And now that I have WhatsApp, or even on LinkedIn DM, sometimes I'll be like recording a message because it's just so much easier instead of typing text. And my elbow hurts from typing all the time.
Because it's audio and it's effortless, they just go on and on and on. So I
Yeah.
think they're not mindful of the other person, which is why also, WhatsApp came up with the 1.2x at 1.5x and 2x speed, right? Instead of
I need
fixing us,
2.5 speed.
2.5 speed. Oh my God. I'm just surprised we're not doing these episodes in 1.5x speed.
I have to be honest, I was listening to episode 12 because I didn't write a description of it last time. I was listening to it today. It's like 24 minutes. 24 minutes. I barely have 15. I
Yeah.
just 2x'd it. Just literally 2x'd it. This was so fun to watch at 2x.
2x this episode.
2x this episode. But in between the off tangents, right? We drop a lot of information here, not necessarily podcast related, which is really exciting. But one of the feedbacks that we got, and this was interesting, this is from a client of mine who didn't know I was doing this. I mean, she knew I told her I was meeting with you, whatever, but she didn't know it was going to turn into a podcast. She was like, but you guys didn't introduce yourselves at any point. It's like, interesting. That may be true. So season 2, episode 1. Hi, I'm Irit. This is Zineb. And if you don't know us, then there's a link to our descriptions and LinkedIn in the comment section below. You may want to check them out because I don't think you're going to get more of an introduction than that. How's that?
Oh my God. What
Thanks,
a miss.
Rena, for the
Yeah,
call out.
thank you. Thank you. Oh God. Oh God. Yeah. We just kept going. We're just like week after week after week.
June just ran on into that, and I'm like, who are these women? So
Yeah.
yeah. So I do
Yeah.
process. Zineb does marketing and pitch slapping, and cooking, and so many other things that are amazing.
Yeah. And I think soon I'm going to be doing video. It's going to be video and merch. Was that total bliss, or did your camera just freeze?
Am I still frozen?
No, no, you're good. You're good.
No, but it's bliss. I'm so excited for you. And I think merch is amazing because you should totally be in the merch field. You can do all of your experiments on us. We need to have merch. We need to have off tangent merch. I want to read to you a few things that we got. So Kevin wrote, you guys will go viral. This is Laverne and Shirley on business steroids. Have you ever seen Laverne and Shirley?
Yeah, I have. That's like cracked me
I
up.
loved that show. I absolutely loved that show. So that would be phenomenal. Like one day having like an opening, just like the Laverne and Shirley opening, just you and me. But I just do want to share something that I got. Alex Sheridan was really positive about it. But then yesterday he wrote he had this great rap. He does these great raps of
Hmm.
LinkedIn, TikTok, or whatever. And all of a sudden podcast came in. And I wrote a comment on this thing, new player in the battlefield, whatever the podcast came in. And I said, you and I have launched a podcast. And he said, I saw your clip, but I didn't realize it was a podcast. And that
No,
went
he didn't realize it
my
was a
mind.
joint thing, not that it was a
I
podcast.
don't know. I don't know if he realized, oh, is
Because I
that what he
saw it
meant
this
by that?
morning. I saw it this morning, and I didn't get the same. I didn't understand that same thing. Alex's response was, "Podcast, you may enter the game." Oh snap! I saw you two in that video. Didn't even realize it was a joint podcast. That's amazing. With a bit more energy, of course, because there are exclamation points and all that is.
Right. But so the question is, I put the emphasis on podcast, you put the emphasis on joint, which is really interesting. Comment on that. Comment this thing and say, so Irina and I are having a discussion, a debate now. Did you not know it was a joint podcast, or did you just not know it was a podcast?
I'm doing it right now.
While you're doing that, and one of the people that commented on my post was like, but what's the topic of this podcast?
I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
Right. So when we started, and again, we said it would tell us what it becomes, but when we started, the idea was, okay, let's create a podcast in public showing people how we're doing it, how we're setting up the process, how we're setting up the podcast itself, what are the stages that we're going through. And I think we have been true to that, but we go off tangent so much and we talk about so many other things throughout that podcast gives a lot of added value in your field and in my field. So anybody watching this will learn a lot about other things and not just creating podcasts. They'll learn about processes, they'll learn about automations, they'll learn about marketing, they'll learn about cookies, they'll learn about video and the importance of video, right? They'll learn so much more than just how to create a podcast. And this season 2, which is actually, okay, we've done season 1, we've started to launch it, and we're going to discuss the reactions that we get based off of that. That's very interesting as well. I think
What I would like to spend some time on is this a podcast or is this a video series? Do you know what I mean? So what I don't let's figure out what it is. And I know we said that it will tell us what it becomes, right? But what is it really? Because I wouldn't want to go down the anchor and all that stuff if really at this stage the content is there, we can always do it, right?
the reason your question is so important, and I don't have an answer yet, but the reason your question is so important, another reason is if this is a YouTube video series, its purpose and its editing and its goals are very different than if it's podcast. If you want to edit for retention and edit for a YouTube channel and you want to get those, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, you have to work one way. If you're going to do it as a podcast on podcast platforms and it's going to go multiple channels and people can watch it wherever they, or listen to it wherever they feel comfortable with, the editing process is a little bit different because then the conversation gets a little bit more meaning. You can go in depth a little bit more. Um, I don't have an answer.
Yeah, well,
Crazy.
let's that's what these conversations are for, right? I think if I were to just share my if I were to make a decision myself right today, I would just stick to video series right now. Um, because it'll allow us to continue with that momentum that we've already built. And one thing that I think is super important to what we are building is the video part of it. I think the video part of it adds a layer in it that is just very true to what we're building to our, it lets both our personalities shine. Not that you don't shine on audio, right? That's not what I'm saying, but just the energy there, the expressions, and that, and that's why a YouTube video series is, I would double down on that right now. We could do
Yeah.
merch, like it still opens up these possibilities, because even the merch we could do it through, one of my other pages. I mean, there's no.
One of mine. There are a million,
Yeah.
there's a way to do it. We could do it. It's we're both Wix users. We both love, we're both fans of Wix. So finding a way to do that
Hmm.
is like easy.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I'm not worried about the merch.
Yeah, I want to
I
get this
do
out of
tend
the
to
way. I want to get that out of the way. I am a Wix fan, just in case anyone
yes.
wants to unfollow me or the show.
Now, if you don't like
Now
Wix,
is the
if you
time.
have a problem that we like, these DIY and this specific DIY web development tool, well, first of all, you have no idea what you're talking about because they're awesome. And second of all, unsubscribe, unfollow, goodbye.
Thank you. Are you all right? Are you gonna be okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have water this time.
Yeah.
But you make me laugh. I do have tissues though. See, I come prepared.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
We should leave this as a video and not necessarily go off to Anchor FM and stuff like that at this point. Um, that is not to say I think we need to stay on Zoom.
Hmm.
Big difference. Okay, I do think we need to find a video streaming platform that will give us better quality than we have through Zoom. Zoom has served us beautifully till now, but I think it's time to say thank you. We part ways. I want to check out what they had with Veed. What I like that they had in Veed is that it gives us, I liked it and I didn't like it, is that it gives us, we can build the frame so you don't have to create the frame later. But on the other hand, it might limit us. So I don't know. I need to think about it. Um, Restream has that as well. I love Restream. I'm a big Restream fan. Currently I'm using free version, but if need be, we upgrade because, we want it branded and whatever. I think that will improve the quality of the video. And if we're gonna go with video, we need to keep improving, even by small steps, small increments all the time. I also think staying on video is staying true to what we defined. And that is we're creating a podcast from scratch. We don't have a budget for this. We're both giving our own time. It's not something that we've, you know, put money towards, at least until now. And a lot of people
Well,
don't have
you
the
did.
budget.
You did.
Not yet. Ellie's done the work. I don't know, whatever, but not really. I don't count it. It's like because I would have done the thumbnails and it wouldn't have looked as good as she did it. So you know what I mean? It's not, this is my whole thing of delegating. it's I didn't put in my time, I put in someone else's time, but it's worth it because I did
Okay.
other things with my time. I feel like again like a broken record. Delegate. If you don't know, I talk about delegation quite a bit. Um,
Asana. This is where we
delegate the
have things
tools, delegate
flying. Asana, this, that, Airtable.
Zapier. Delegate to tools or to people, but delegate. I really don't care what people call us. I'm having a lot of fun with these sessions. I want to keep them simple, definitely at this stage, simplified. Our process works for us. I've improved the process a little bit. I've automated a little bit with Haley. I've delegated to her. Like I'll do the upload, but she's going to be doing all of the things on YouTube. Gave her a lot of tasks to do. So, you know, we'll get you on board with it eventually when your head decides that it doesn't want to explode from the review. But you have access, so you can see the Airtable. The automations are working in the back end.
So we can stop calling ourselves a podcast. This is a video series. I was going to go through all the comments on my post to see if there was, I think a few people called it a video series. Come up with a, I guess, a temporary description of what Off Tangent is based on all the feedback and on all that. So that would be interesting. I co-host Off Tangent, a video series where Irit and I, blah, 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 blah.
Watch as Zineb and Irit tackle the task of creating a podcast from scratch if they can stay on topic long enough. That was the tagline that I put, but we can change that. I mean,
I
that's just
love
like
that. You used that in your post last week, I think. Yeah, like cracked me up.